Hello, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Mangs, and I welcome you guys to another Fire Emblem 16 Treehouses news video. We have a brand new Famitsu article that just dropped. This is the 5th one, and it contains a lot of information regarding Fire Emblem 16. Some of it which we already knew from before, but it's good to get some confirmation. We've reached a point where there's so many different news sources and so much news that it's kind of hard to know what's been said and what has been said, or what has been confirmed, what has not been confirmed, but yeah, we'll just focus on this news article for now. I know that there's this 10-minute gameplay video or 10-minute like commercial video from Japan that you guys really want to see me comment on, but I just haven't had a lot of time to check it out. There's also been various 30-second commercials being released in various channels that, you know, there's not a lot to comment on. They just look really nice. Dimitri does like a helicopter lance in one of them. That's pretty cool. I like that a lot. And also we've gotten sort of a gameplay or unit review video of both the Black Eagles and one recently of the Blue Lions, which is really nice. Again, doesn't really tell us anything we didn't know from before, but it's nice to get some more information regarding the students. But for now, this video will remain centered on the new Famitsu article, so let's just jump into it. So this Famitsu article opens up by talking a lot about the demonic beasts, which are these huge mini-bosses that will appear on various maps, and they will be third-party monsters that can be attacked by both you and the enemy, and it's basically a rush to see who gets the killing blow on the monster itself. We've seen various types of these demonic beasts. We've seen the Black Beast, the Giant Bird, the Giant Wolf, and the King of Beasts, which is the huge thing that appears in many of the preview battles that we've seen so far. And these beasts are all related to the crests in some way or another. It is very much suspected that crests can corrupt their wearers via some sort of ritual or maybe some experimentation that's gone wrong, turning them into these horrendous monsters that attack anything that moves within their line of sights. So these beasts are massive monstrosities that you'll need to devote a large portion of your army to if you want to bring them down. Not only do they have multiple hit point bars, meaning you'll need to kill them several times over if you want to get rid of them, but they also have this barrier around themselves that you'll need to bring down. You do this by hitting them with anti-monster combat arts or special gambits designed to take down monsters, and once this barrier goes down, you'll perform something called an armor break, in which you'll confuse the monster for a turn. It won't be able to retaliate, it will not be able to move, and it might also take more damage, I'm not exactly sure. It also says that doing sort of an armor break will reward you with valuable items. I'm not sure what that means, if you'll get loot for destroying the barrier, or if they're talking about you getting loot for killing the monsters. We do know that you will get loot for killing the monster itself. I'm not sure if you get loot just for breaking down its barrier. That seems kind of weird. These monsters will also do these massive area of effect attacks that they'll signal beforehand. If you stand in them, they will more often than not kill the units affected, so they're very, very scary if you don't pay attention. But what's very interesting about these demonic beasts is that they seem very attracted to units that employ gambits against them. So if you use a gambit against the demonic beast, it will actually display a message saying that now you got the beast's attention, and it will focus on you until another unit employs a gambit. So you can actually utilize gambits to sort of manipulate their AI. So if you're smart, you'll make sure that your tankiest unit is the last one to perform a gambit against the demonic beast, so that they will take the attack on the next phase. So next up, the Famitsu article talks a lot about the drill grounds, and I gotta say, the more I read about this thing, the more it reminds me of the Arena Gauntlet from FE4. People have actually jokingly been calling Treehouses the genealogy remake we've all been waiting for. So how the drill grounds will work is that there will be monthly tournaments that you can enter, and they will cost gauge points to participate in, so you can't just do it for free. Once you enter a tournament, you select one of your students to go and fight against a gauntlet of enemies, and these enemies will be represented by members of the other houses. These tournaments can be restricted to certain weapon types. For example, there can be a lance tournament where you will have to send in your best lance users to fight against a bunch of other lance users, and the rewards that you can get from the drill grounds can vary from gold to items to weapons. You can also get these promotional items that you can win, and basically how it's gonna work is that you will have to go through this gauntlet similar to an FE4, but unlike FE4, you won't be healed in between each battle. If you take damage, any damage that you take will transfer over to your next opponent. However, you can heal your character 2 times for 30 hit points between battles, and you'll need to spend these 2 heals very wisely. Now, maybe the amount of healing you get will increase as you get better, but for now, it seems to be 2 heals worth 30 hit points each. So it's going to be very interesting to see how you utilize that healing to get your character through the gauntlet. You may want to save it towards the very end because your opponents will get tougher and tougher, or maybe you just want to make sure that you get to use it at all. If you're too greedy, of course, and you hold out on it, your character may die and you may not get to heal them at all. And of course, you'll spend a gauge point to participate in these tournaments. So getting knocked out and not getting the reward is actually going to hurt you. So again, I really like these trail grounds. They look really, really cool, and I can't wait to participate in them. Then, the Famitsu article goes into great detail about the various locations you can travel inside the monastery. The first room that is mentioned is the audience chamber. This is sort of the religious part of the monastery where you can talk to Archbishop Ria and her advisor Sethet, as well as various priests from the Church of Ceros. Then they talk about the Knight's Hall, and I imagine this is where your father Geralt will be hanging out most of the time. You can also encounter various other knights here, and you can even talk to some of them to get training in certain weapons. We do know that Byleth can be tutored just like the students. Then we have the stables. The stables doesn't really seem to have a practical function as of yet. You can only really see the horses there, and sometimes the article speculates that students that really like riding or are fond of animals will pop up in the stables from time to time. Then we have the library, and I really like the library. Here you can actually go to read about certain aspects of Fodlan lore. I'm not sure if all the information in the library is going to be available at once, or if it's going to get gradually unlocked as you play through the game, but for people who are lorehounds who really want to dig into Fodlan's history and just want to read a lot, then I imagine you'll be spending a lot of time in the library just reading books. I probably will be spending some time here off camera because I'm a big lorehound myself, so I imagine there's going to be a lot of interesting stuff here to read. Then, you can also enter each student's dormitory if you want to, poke your nose in their private business and read their journals, I guess. For example, let's say you want to know more about Didu, you can enter Didu's private room, and you can actually read books about his hobbies, and I imagine this is a good way to get to know the students better if you want to, answer the little mini-games where you basically get points for answering correctly. And finally, we have your private quarters. This is where you'll go to relax, this is where you can see quests, and this is also where Sothis will be popping up from time to time. Apparently she won't always be there, but if you want to chat with Sothis, this is where you go. I don't think that Sothis actually appears physically in your room. I think that she is a manifestation of what happens inside your mind, but it makes sense that you would want to withdraw to your private quarters in order to have a conversation with the invisible Lala Dragon inside your head, or else I imagine people at the Garrick Mob Monastery might think you're insane. Which you might very well be. Then we got some new character profiles. Some of these have actually been released previously, but I thought I'd just cover them now since there's some of them I haven't talked about on the channel yet. Starting with the teacher Thomas. This guy is a friendly old man, and his description reads, "A man has been serving as an archivist at Garrick Mock Monastery for over 40 years. Besides the books within the library, he's well versed with the monastery's happenings throughout the years. He's also a devout follower of the Church of Ceros, seen hanging around the stables." I don't really know why he's at the stables. Wouldn't it make more sense for him to be in the library? I don't know, maybe he just likes horses. Then we have what it seems to be a new playable character called Cyril. And a lot of people have been pointing out this guy looks a lot like Claude. I will say, he could be Claude's little brother, but I don't think he is, or else it probably would have stated in his description. So it says, a young boy who acts as one of Archbishop Ria's servants. He feels indebted towards Ria for rescuing him from his troubled life as a war orphan. He takes his work at the monastery extremely seriously, to the point that he gives off a cold impression. To help out Ria, he studied archery under Shamir. He likes prickled rabbit skewers, apparently that's food, and he starts as a commoner. So yes, he is indeed confirmed to be playable. And many people have pointed out that this is probably going to be the Donald of the game. He's probably going to start out really weak, but his growth rate is going to be insane. And yeah, that would make sense, seeing as he seems to start off as a very young boy. Then we have the guy known as Alois, and yes, this is the guy who goes, "Oh, Shasiburi wa desu ka?" Oh, the one I made a shitpost about, and sorry for my Japanese pronunciation, I know it's horrible. This guy is named Alois Langert, and it says, a member of the Knights of Ceros when Geralt still served as a Knights Captain. He was one of the subordinates, and he's admired him ever since. He gave the protagonist a rare recommendation to become a teacher after they repelled the bandits that attacked the students. He's cheerful, friendly, and likes telling bad jokes. He can instruct others in axe and gauntlet skills. Then we have the teacher known as Gilbert. His full name is Gilbert Prosnirav. Sounds Russian. A member of the Knights of Syros, hailing from the Holy Kingdom. He's a pious, serious, and polite individual. His expression rarely changes, and he tends not to speak of himself, so it's hard to know his inner thoughts, but he does enjoy fishing and cooking. He can instruct others in lance and axe skills. And then there is the teacher Shamir. Oh, the teacher that has gripped everyone. She is gorgeous, though. I really, really like her. Her full name is Shamir Nevolent. She's a bow adept who's stationed in the Knights of Syros. She was once a mercenary, but now serves as a knight to repay a debt to Rhea from the past. Wow, Rhea's done so much, like, there's so many people indebted to Rhea, holy crap. She's a rarity within the Knights because she's not a follower of the Church, for now. She swears allegiance to Rhea only. She can instruct others in lance and bow skills. And then finally, we have the knight known as Rodrigue, and it just says a dark-haired man seen in the Knights Hall along with Sylvain, Catherine, and Geralt. Perhaps a knight of Syros or eager to learn their ways? We don't really know much about him as of yet. And before we finish off this little character reveal, I would just like to point out a very fun speculation that seems to be making its way through the Fire Emblem community, and that is of the character Jeritza that I covered in a previous video. He's the teacher with the mask. A lot of people have pointed out this is probably the Flame Emperor. And if we compare the two of them side by side, I have to agree, this might have some merit. I don't know what it is, if it's just the fact that they seem to have sort of a... There's something just very similar about them. It's not just the fact that they both wear masks. It's just... I don't know, it's really just speculation, but just looking at the two of them side by side, I think there might be some value to this. I think... in fact, that some of these teachers will be revealed to be villains. I very much think so. I don't, like, we know some of the teachers are going to be playable. I very much doubt all of them will. Maybe some of them will be temporarily playable. But I very much believe that some of these characters that will be revealed will somehow become bad villains. And when looking at Jeritza, I just know that he's gonna, like, take off his mask, or I guess put on his mask and go like, haha, I was the Flame Emperor all along, and he's gonna go like, you're having too much fun, and then he's gonna make the game boring. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, that is it for this Famitsu article. There were some stuff at the end there with some skills and class skills that I think I covered in a previous video. It didn't seem all that interesting, so I didn't cover it. I wanted to talk about the story things first. Anyway, guys, let me know what you think about the news in the comment section below. Do you like it? Do you not like it? What do you like about it? What do you hate about it? What do you think about Jeritza? Do you think it's the Flame Emperor? I think it's the Flame Emperor. Are you having too much fun? I'm having way too much fun, so the Flame Emperor better come in here and stop the fun soon, or else we're all gonna have too much fun, and that'd be bad. So yeah, you know what you should also do? You should click that like button and subscribe for more Tree Houses news. My name has been Mangs, and I shall see you guys very soon. Bye-bye.